Yo guys, what's up? It is Ripe again, back with episode 40 of our Reddit series. And today I got a boatload of entitled parents for you. Before we start, please don't forget to like the video for my unconditional love. And if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. So without any further ado, let's hop right in. Entitled Mom believes the whole bus should get up as soon as she gets on. So this morning, my father and me, we were going to the bank. My father has had 3 strokes during the last 5 years. The last one happened in the brainstem, which is a life-threatening condition, but thankfully my father has been very lucky. It's like God has been watching over him. He can walk, talk, think and do everything a healthy person can. His eyesight is basically the only thing that's damaged from all those strokes. He can see, but his vision is blurry, and unfortunately nothing can be done about that, but he has been incredibly lucky, as many people die or stay bedridden for the rest of their lives just after one stroke. But today he had some business to do in the bank and he wanted me to come with him so that he would feel safer. We were going by bus and it was quite full when we got on, and I found a free seat for my father because he has a few coordination issues and he could fall when the bus is moving. I did not have a seat, so I was standing right next to his seat. The next stop comes and this woman with a child gets on the bus. The child was maybe 5 years old and they were looking around for a free seat. The woman saw my father sitting and obviously decided that as a man, he should get up to free the seat for her and her kid. She came up to us and she was like,
"Sir, my child needs to sit down. Get up, please."
My father is 58 years old. He does not look this old, but he is 58 years old. He's also very polite, so he was already about to stand up, but I thought, hell no, and I did not let him. I turned to the woman and I was like, "I'm sorry, but this man is ill. He's a retired person and he does not need to be standing. Your child won't die here if he stands, and neither will you." She obviously was not expecting something like this, and she's probably used to the whole bus jumping to their feet when she gets on. She was like,
"My son is tired. You're so rude. It's polite manners for a man to free the seat. He doesn't look ill."
I was like, "Listen, if your son needs to sit down this badly, look around you. Behind you, there's a young guy sitting. Over there, there's a teenage girl sitting as well. Why don't you go and ask them to free the seat for your child? Why are you asking it from an elderly person?" She looked as if she was going to punch me and then she walked away, trying to get someone else to stand up. I could hear her mumbling,
"What's going on with this world? No respect at all to mothers anymore. Children are the future, not old people."
My father was like, "I'm glad you're child free after all. If you turned out like this woman, I would have failed as a parent." Guys, imagine if the Karens of today will turn old at some point. They will be the most entitled grandmothers you will ever witness. Have you guys ever had a situation like that on public transport? Please tell us in the comments. My awesome dad shuts down an entitled mom. My father is visiting from Florida and we just happened to throw him a giant birthday bash for turning 60 the same time Irma was tearing through his town. So coincidentally, it was a good time for a vacation. And we were reminiscing about when we moved to New England from Texas. I brought up this story and I had to share it with you. I was 17 years old and we had just moved into this neighborhood in July, and by September I had a part-time job and had started at a new school. My dad still had to give me rides to work because I was still in driver's education. So I am walking down the driveway, my father's already sitting in the truck waiting for me, and a woman I have never met before walks into my driveway and stops me.
"Can you babysit?"
She blurts out abruptly.
"It's an emergency."
I was puzzled. I had no idea who this woman was. No, I'm on my way to work."
"I will pay you."
"No, I have a responsibility to my job and I'm not going to call out on such short notice." She then turns to my father, who has now rolled down a window, wondering what the F is going down.
"Can't you babysit?"
She asks my father. "Also, what the F? I just told you no. Are you going to pretend you didn't hear?" My father repeats what I had just said. "She has a job and she's leaving for work right now." The random woman throws up her hands and leaves. I get in my dad's truck and we leave. I later find out this woman lives a few houses down from us. Nice first impression, lady. No introduction to the new neighbor, just asking for favors. On top of that, who sees a random teenager outside and decides,
I will leave my child alone with her.
As I am retelling this story to my father and shaking my head at how irresponsible it would be to leave your kid with a strange teenager, my father informs me that it did not stop there. This same mother used to catch him at the mailbox and demand services from my brother and I, since he had teenagers and she had young children. Each conversation would start,
"You should make your kids do
this and that. Shovel my driveway, babysit, rake leaves in my yard. At first he laughed it off and just went inside without replying. But as it continued, he started to ask, "I will bring it up to them. What are you paying?" The EM's jaw dropped.
They should just be doing it to help out. They are teenagers and I'm a stay-at-home mom.
My father, always calm, cool and collective, said, "That's right, they are teenagers. They go to school, they do homework, they have part-time jobs, they have household work. They have earned their leisure time just as much as I have, and you're not demanding I work for you for free, right?" The EM then mutters something about him not understanding how hard it is to be a stay-at-home mom, and my father politely replies, she never met him at the mailbox again after that. Is it just me, or nowadays single dads, aside from still being a rare occurrence, don't really get the credit they deserve? I think sometimes society even treats them like they aren't real parents, so to say. But anyway guys, let's continue to the next one. Entitled Mom tells me off for asking her screaming children to please not scare my puppy. So I am a regular at this dog-friendly coffee lounge, and it's been a great place to socialize my puppy due to the laid-back atmosphere and friendly regulars. The staff and manager love my puppy like whoa, as she is so well behaved and quiet. There are even pictures of her on their website gallery. I was ordering at the bar with my puppa chilling by my feet when two girls about 5 to 7 years old sprinted up to us with no warning, shrieking and jerking their arms about as they cornered her. My puppy started backing up and trying to slip out of her harness with terror, but the girls kept approaching. I forced myself to smile and moved my body to block them from crawling towards my dog. I made the shh gesture and crouched down. I said, "Sorry girls, you're scaring her a little, she's only a baby." They said nothing at all, but ran back to their own table and left us alone. After reassuring my shaking dog, I finished ordering and set her up with a chew toy under our table. She had just started to relax when a woman approached our table and told me that her girls were absolutely not scaring my dog and that I had upset them by saying that they had. I think she wanted me to apologize. As a socially anxious introvert not used to confrontation, I'm pretty thrown by this. But my old customer service training kicks in and I say, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It must have been someone else's children who tried to touch my dog without permission." Except there were no other children in the building. I looked pointedly around the room and there were the regulars working on laptops and a small group of young adults talking quietly on a sofa. And right then, her kids decided to continue the shrieking tech game in a cafe that they had been playing before. I looked at her and asked, "Those are your children?" And her mouth went all tight and pinched. I guess she decided to double down though, because she raised her voice to spit out the same,
"My girls did not scare your puppy."
I started to feel panicky and she wasn't leaving my table, and like I mentioned, I'm bad at confrontation. As I was trying to figure out how best to defuse the situation while fighting down the rage, the EM was interrupted by another woman saying, "Excuse me, sorry to interrupt, but is your dog friendly?" While we had been talking, a different mother and daughter had come into the cafe. The daughter had apparently seen my puppy and wanted to say hi. I said, "She's a little nervous of loud noises, but a very good girl." The daughter did that cute sleeve tugging thing that shy kids do and mumbled something up to her mom, who said, "Ask the lady first." And she did ask me. It was so cute. I turned my back on the fuming entitled mom, who had started to look very awkward, and invited the polite girl to pet my puppy, showing her how to crouch to seem less threatening. I gave her some treats to coax the puppa out from under my chair, and they enjoyed a positive, adorable interaction. While petting/bribing the puppa, the polite girl told me about her pet rabbit and how she likes animals more than people. Hard relate, tiny human. The EM had returned to her table by the time I paid her any more attention. This was all happening at 2 p.m. on a Saturday, so more families were strolling in for lunch. And over the next hour, I was approached by 2 more parent-kid combos requesting petting permission and one lone small boy bravely asking her name and if he could take a picture of her. I agreed, using treats to make each interaction fun and positive for the pupper. I felt the EM glaring at me every time someone came over to chat to me. The thing is, if she had just said,
"Hey, sorry my girl scared your puppy earlier. Is it okay? Could we try meeting it quietly?"
then I would have welcomed the opportunity to get her used to kids. I actually kinda love kids despite not wanting my own. It's such a shame that her poor parenting denied her children puppy pets. I hope they grow up okay. Dog meeting etiquette is something children should always be taught for their own safety as well as the dogs. Once again a story where you feel bad for the kids of the EM. Next one. Entitled Dad asked me to remove my dog due to child's fear. Today I had one of my Great Danes at the vet for her yearly exam and vaccinations. After we finished up, we went back into the waiting room to wait for the girls at the front desk to get today's bill together. I always sit in the least intrusive place, dog or not, because I don't do well when I feel crowded, so I sit on the side of the waiting room with the fewest people. The waiting room is split into 2 large halves by the entranceway, and each half is partitioned from the entranceway by 4-ish feet high walls. Well, as we were sitting, a tech comes out and calls a pet's name, and a dad, holding a pet carrier, and his 3 children stand up and start walking towards the exam rooms. They have to pass by the portion of the waiting room that my dog and I are in. As soon as the little girl sees my dog, she gasps and backpedals a bit. I am sitting on the bench and my girl is sitting on the floor so close to me that she is touching me. Since she's so big, we always try to stay out of the way and take up as little space as possible. When my pup sees the girl, she looks at her, hopeful, but doesn't try to approach her and maintains her seated position because she knows not to approach people for attention. Her tail is thudding on the floor because she loves kids and is hoping that I will let her say hello, but is otherwise as still as a statue. The girl starts wailing, and I mean wailing, and refuses to walk any further. I felt bad because she was obviously scared, and I said, "I promise she won't hurt you. You can pass. She won't come near you." And I grabbed her collar as a sign of good faith. And we are sitting about 6 feet away from them, and my girl is on a 2-foot leash. The dad says,
"She doesn't like dogs. Can you move for your dog?"
"Really? We are 6 feet away. Where do you want me to go?" And now they are standing between me and the entranceway, and due to the way that the sitting area is walled off, I would have to walk towards them to remove my dog, even if I was going to turn the opposite way towards the exam rooms. Why would you bring your child to the vet when you know that they are afraid of dogs? I felt bad for the girl, and I usually offer to allow kids that are afraid to greet my dogs because they are well trained and docile, but the entitlement of the dad really pissed me off. That reminds me, Ripestars, do you have any pets? And if so, which is your favorite? As I mentioned in another video, we actually had a lot of dogs in the past, but I'm kind of afraid of dogs, but I do love cats. But anyway, let's continue to the next one. Now we are gonna hop over to the top posts of r/EntitledParents for today. Lady thinks letting her kid drown will teach him to swim. This literally just happened yesterday. I was at the pool with my auntie and 4 of my little cousins. At this said pool, there's a big pool, a medium kid-sized pool, and a baby pool all in ground. My aunt was in the baby pool with my 2 baby cousins, and my 2 other cousins were in the medium pool. I was alone in the big pool swimming around. Now this pool has a rule that any child under a certain height cannot be in the big pool area, even under the guidance of an adult. There was some toddler who was running around the pool ledge where he tripped on some sunglasses by the side of the pool and fell in. I was the only one who saw him, so I quickly swam over and picked the flailing, crying child out of the water. He was sobbing, but I calmed him down and he said, "Thank you." He seemed like a super sweet kid. I wondered where the F the parents were and why he was left alone in the pool area which he shouldn't even be in. I asked him where his mom was and he showed me a lady who was standing in a pool chair, not even paying attention to her child at all. I told her what happened and the conversation followed through.
He fell in?
Me, yeah, but I saved him. He's okay. Why is he even... She cut me off.
Well, why did you take him out of the pool?
Me, because he was gonna drown? Kids his size cannot even be in this pool. EM,
He's trying to learn to swim. This would have been a great learning opportunity and you messed it all up.
if I didn't do anything, he would have drowned. Why weren't you watching him?
He would have been fine if it wasn't for you. He was just playing around the pool.
Well, kids his age cannot even be in this part of the pool.
What are you talking about? I paid to be here. He can go to whatever pool he wants.
Now, there were signs everywhere saying the rule of height and children, apparently entitled people, cannot read. Me points to one of the rule signs and EM says,
Well, I never saw that. It isn't my fault. These lousy lifeguards should have told me the rule.
I then reported her to the lifeguard and she was escorted out of the pool for harassment and neglect of her child, I guess. I then just went to the medium pool, chilled with my cousins, and other than that, my day was rather fun. Have a nice day, ladies. Okay, that has got to be one of the most stupid Karens I've ever witnessed. Who else is gonna bet 500 ripe points that this woman also doesn't believe in vaccines? Tell me in the comments. Entitled Kid is entitled to my guitar. First time poster on mobile, English is not my first language, yada yada yada. Some quick backstory. At this time I was 17, helping my boyfriend save up for college by playing music in public. I had painted my guitar black and blue cause it looked cool and wasn't done very well, but I ended up selling it to someone for a good price a couple of years after this. Enter the cast, EM for Entitled Mom, EK for Entitled Kid, and me for me. I was in a public area sitting on a little wall thing playing my guitar. I had my case out for people to put coins in and I was about to head home since I had earned a good amount. I was finishing up my last song when EK came up, followed by EM. I expected them to just watch, but EK leaned down and started picking up some of my coins. I stopped playing to tell him to stop. This is the conversation. Me, those are mine, please don't take them. I want them. We cannot all get what we want.
Why aren't you giving him what he wants?
It's my money. I earned it. I'm not gonna give it up. And then the EM says,
Then give us your guitar.
Ma'am, I could do private sessions, but I cannot give away my guitar. It's my job.
Then get a real job, you bum.
At this point, I had my case sitting next to me and was putting the coins in my pocket to put the guitar back in the case. They couldn't grab my money and I had a hand on my guitar. Can I have your guitar? It looks cool. Thanks, but I'm not looking to give it away. EM.
Can I buy it?
Me, no. EM.
But my husband is an
important position at a company. That does not give you the rights to my property.
hippity hoppity, your guitar is now my property.
Just kidding. Now I was fully ready to leave. Guitar in my case, money in pockets, and I start walking away.
Where are you going, you bum?
Me, doesn't matter to you. EM.
Yes, it does.
She attempts to slap me, but misses, and I start running. Luckily, I made it home without her following me. And when I got home, I told my boyfriend about her. He just laughed and asked if she was from our school. Her son probably went to the elementary school nearby, but luckily I never saw her again. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the stories for today. I just want to quickly tell you something on a more personal note. Starting in August, I will be in Thailand for 3 months to visit my girlfriend, and around that time my videos will change a little bit. I will still try to upload daily, but the style will change a little bit because I have to edit in a different way, since obviously I don't have my strong PC in Thailand. The videos will be similar to Voicey Here's videos of Entitled Parents, if you know them, meaning that they will have a lot of pictures, and I will try to incorporate my girlfriend into the stories. But we will see how that goes. I might or might not do that, but I think it's always fun to have new voices in the stories. So if you have listened until here, I would like to thank you very much for being such a loyal viewer, and please tell me if you think that's a good idea when 2 people at once read these stories. I might also do some facecam stuff at some point, but I'm not really sure about that yet. So I hope you will be back tomorrow, and I just want to wish you a great day.